Hello everybody, it's Alex, and this is a Pokemon replay that I got on PO, on the PO server, and let's start the battle now. Okay, so I lead off with Chandelure, disguised as, no, I lead off with Zoroark disguised as Chandelure, and he leads off with Roselia. Then he switches to Suicune, thinking that I am actually the Chandelure, probably, and I nasty plot on the switch. And then he switches out, knowing that I'm a Chandelure now. Goes to Heracross, and I Dark Pulse, which wasn't really a smart thing to do. I probably should have switched, but it doesn't really matter. And then I switch out to my real Chandelure as he Mega Horns. And then I believe I go for the Overheat, and yes, and it does 50% to the Suicune. It says 51 on the screen, but then 50 on the side. And then I switch out to Zoroark because I didn't want to, I didn't want to take a water move, and then I and then I nasty plot as he switches, and I nasty plot as he gyro balls, and then I flamethrower twice for the kill, and he gets his stealth rocks up. Then he switches to Heracross, and he earthquakes to kill me. This was actually a really good match too. Don't know how many turns it is though. I switch into Flygon, knowing I can outspeed, and I go for the safe Stone Edge, and he switches into Zapdos for some reason. I don't know why. Then I believe he switches out to, he switches out to Suicune. I was gonna say Cofagrigus. I can't say that name. And Suicune takes that like a beast, and then I switch to Mienshao as kind of like a pivot switch, hoping he wasn't gonna get the burn, and he doesn't. And then he switches to Cofagrigus, I'm gonna call it, and the fake out is obviously immune. Then he U-turns, and my ability gets mommy, so I don't get my regenerator. And I got to Suicune as he Calm Minds, and this is kind of repetitive, this section, because it's a lot of switching. He goes to his Suicune as I Calm Mind. I was gonna say Scald, and then I believe he switches out to Zapdos. No, he stays in, and I go for the Scald and get the burn. And then he roars me out to Mienshao. And then I think I predict his Cofagrigus switch and go for the U-turn, even though I probably should have just hard switched out because I would have got my regenerator. But it's all in the past, hindsight 2020. And then I go out to my Chandelure, and I'm pretty sure I go for the Overheat. No, I go for Shadow Ball. Yes, I go for the Shadow Ball. And I take out his Suicune. And now the score is 5-4 for me. And it is actually pretty even at this moment. The teams are still fairly even. This is also the team I made for the team building. And then I switch out my Chandelure after a Shadow Ball on his Roselia. I was just checking how much damage a Shadow Ball would do. And then he switches out to Cofagrigus while I switch out to Chandelure. And then he switches back out to Roselia, because he's probably predicting something, and I missed the Overheat, which kind of sucks, because I still would have been able to get 2 hits off instead of 1, so I would have been a -1 Chandelure instead of a -2, because I am Specs. And it still would have done a lot of damage, so it's a double down, and I decided to go into my Scarfer, the Flygon, and I wanted to know how much damage the Outrage would do, and it does 35%. And he goes for the Shadow Ball, and I have to go for another Outrage, and I get a crit on him, and he rests off, and then I have to go for my third Outrage, because I got a 3-turn Outrage. And then I believe I switch out here into Suicune, and and then I Scald, not wanting to overpredict or anything, because yeah. And then I'm a bit ahead of the battle. No, I Calm Mind actually. Sorry, Calm Mind. And he wakes up to go for the Shadow Ball. So never mind. The thing that I said about the section before being repetitive, it's coming up soon, I believe, because he has his 3 pokes. So I go for the Scald here, not wanting to overpredict any. No, I go for the Calm Mind again. What am I doing? But I go for the Calm Mind, I guess, and then I switch out, not wanting to take a Thunderbolt, even though I probably could. Go to Rhyperior, and he substitutes. And then, oh, what was I gonna? I think I go for Rock Blast and miss. No, he just goes straight for the switch out. Then I go for Rock Blast and hit 2 times. Hit 2 times, and then I switch out to Suicune here. Cause, yeah, this is the section that's repetitive. This part. I switch out to Suicune. He Shadow Balls. I know I can take 2, but not after Toxic. So I rest here, I believe. And yes, that's what I do. And then I probably switch out to Rhyperior again. Or, yes, Rhyperior. Then not wanting to overpredict again. Well, now I overpredict here. But not wanting to overpredict again, I go for the Rock Blast again. And I hit his Cofagrigus, I think 5 times this time. Yeah, 5 times. And here, the next turn, I was banking on hitting 4 times, but I only hit 2, which kind of sucks, but you know, it's still part of the game. You can't get all the luck. Even though I usually get most of the bad luck, but on occasional days I get some good luck. Then I switch to Suicune, and then I switch back out predicting his Zapdos, and that's exactly what he does. And after all the after turn effects, he switched back out to Cofagrigus, and I go for the Rock Blast yet again because I just want to take out the Zapdos. And I'm surprised I'm not missing these. And then I switch out to Suicune here, I think. Yes, that's what I do. And I think I predict him again after all these. I think I predict him again, but I go into Flygon this time, I think. No, I don't predict him. Oh yeah, I went for the Scald there, predicting the Zapdos. I remember this. I went for the Scald there, predicting the Zapdos, but I forgot I was asleep. And then I go into Flygon as he substitutes, and it looks like doesn't have the HP Ice because he's shown Thunderbolt, Substitute, and Roost, but he hasn't gone for the HP Ice on any of my guys yet. And then I go for the Sonnet again because I just want to take out the Zapdos and this Cofagrigus, and his last is a Heracross. But I'm not too worried about that. So I go to Suicune, and then I switch back, and then I switch out to Mienshao, and then he goes back to Cofagrigus, and I U-turn again. I thought this was the time I hard switched out, but that's probably a bit ahead. And then I go back out to Suicune because it's my best matchup against this because the rest of my guys are physical. And then he goes back out into Zapdos, and I Sleep Talk a Scald, which is great for me. And then I go out to, and I'm surprised he's not predicting this and like double switching when he's in his Zapdos. He goes to his Cofagrigus, but I guess not. Then he Thunderbolts my Flygon, which doesn't do anything because I'm immune. And then I Stone Edge because I just want to take out the Zapdos. It'd be so much easier if I could take out the Zapdos. Then he goes back into Zapdos on my Mienshao. My Mienshao dies, and I go to Rhyperior, and then I think I predict. No, I don't predict this. And I get the 3-turn Rock Blast, but since he's asleep, I know that I can take him out with another one, banking on the fact that I don't miss. And I take his Cofagrigus out, and then he goes to Heracross, and I switch out to Suicune to take a hit. Well, kind of like a switch, like a pivot switch, because I wanted to go out to my Flygon after. and my Suicune's still asleep. I sleep talk the Scald just for that little bit of extra damage, which is great because I wouldn't want the Calm Mind or the rest, so I was lucky there. And he gets the thing. And since at this point I'm out of Stone Edges, but I know I can just take him out with an Outrage here. I could have went for the EQ, but I knew he still had a Zapdos, and I wanted to do damage to the Zapdos. And it just barely misses it out on the kill here. And he roosts. And here I'm banking on the fact that I don't get hit in confusion, and I don't. And then I take out his Zapdos. But even if I did hit myself, I wouldn't have died, and then I would have just kept going for it, and then I could have went into Rhyperior. So the game would have been mine either way. So bye guys, thanks for watching. See you later.